Hey Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update before we begin. I do want to say that nothing in this video is financial advice. Everything's for educational purposes only. This is just my own analysis on the market. Also, if you're new to this channel, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, we really do appreciate all of the support. Let's get into the market, guys. So we had a really good day yesterday. I think there's a couple reasons why this happened. And the first is, obviously, we've been talking about this for a while. We've been in a bullish uptrend. When Bitcoin cracked a 50-day, we expected it to come back down, retrace a little bit, retest that area, let some of these lower time frame oscillators reset, and now we're starting to see the next reaction. Bitcoin has now cleared above the level that we've been talking about, which is this $94,000 level. You can see right here, guys, this was such a pivotal level for it not to only close above, but it's also holding it. So if you look over here on the 4-hour, guys, you can see this prior resistance zone has now become support. All right, this looks really good. Now, there is one thing that we have to be cognitive of today, guys, at 10 a.m., and I was actually thinking about making this a little bit later in the day, is we have the Supreme Court ruling for Trump. I have a feeling, because we've seen this positive reaction yesterday, this could be two things. One, they could have said, okay, let's sweep the shorts. Let's go up there and sweep this liquidity. There was like $400 billion in shorts, or $1 million in shorts. Something crazy got liquidated yesterday, guys. It was a ton of shorts got liquidated. And then now that they've done that, they know that they're going to have a chance to come back down and probably liquidate some of these late longs, because if we get a negative reaction from the market, then we can expect most likely we're going to come back down and probably at the minimum retest this 50-day on the 4-hour as support and then start moving up. There's also what Marty Party thinks, which is this thing could actually become what causes the spring. So he doesn't think we're leaving this section going from the D to the E. So I'll show you what I'm talking about, guys, just in case you're not aware. If we go to Marty Party, he's been talking about the Wyckoff. We talk about the Wyckoff. We understand smart money. This is how they control these markets. This is how they set things up. And if you come down to Marty Party, he's been talking about this the last few days and talking about break the Wyckoff. Matter of fact, this is a good example of it. So what he thinks could potentially be happening is we're either going from D into E, and we think that we're either right here, and we've done the first rejection, we've come down, bounced, and we're starting to move back up, or we've done this first rejection, we've come back down and try to do the retest of the resistance line, and then today's negative court reading will come out, push us down to do the spring, and then we'll start the D into the E process. Regardless which one, guys, it doesn't matter. It's going to still result in the same thing, which is us moving forward, going out into the further part of this year, guys. We've been talking about this for the last month and a half now. I think 2026 is going to be really bullish. There's multiple reasons why I think it's going to be bullish. More than anything, though, quantitative easing. So with that being said, guys, looking at this right now and just kind of taking a look at this, we're just kind of chopping right now, guys. You can see we had this bit of a move yesterday, actually in the afternoon. We had a couple of moves yesterday, guys. It was pretty interesting how this all kind of played out. What it looks like now in the smaller time frame is like Bitcoin's kind of like creating this kind of like bull flag kind of pendant right here. You can see this is its resistance. You can see this is its support, and it just looks like it's wedging. And if you come into the 15-minute time frame, you can see it. What we'd like to see is a break up. We don't want to see a break down. We don't want to see it come back down any further. But we do understand that if they do, again, guys, this is just part of market structure. If they decide they want to bring things back down, they will do it. There's a couple of areas I'm expecting we would want to put in a higher low. So we would like to bounce off the 50. So like, let's say the 50 comes up like this. We decide we want to come back down, de-risk into it, and then bounce out. That would look perfectly normal too. And again, if Marty Party, if they do what he thinks they're going to do, which is bring the market down, come do the spring, we'd probably come down, maybe wick just slightly lower than this local low, and then start making our move up. Regardless, guys, it's pretty much going to result in the same thing. 2 weeks to a month from now, we won't even be talking about this no more. We'll be at a different region. Now, Bitcoin still has to reclaim some levels, all right? There's some levels here that still needs to be reclaimed, even as good as this looks right now. The first one is, you can see, we're coming into that 50-day on the weekly. We haven't been above this since basically November 10th, that week of November 10th. Is when we broke below this. And honestly, guys, if you go to the 4-year cycle and what the 4-year cycle people think, because we closed underneath the 50-day EMA for more than 1 week in a row, this has pretty much resulted in us going into a bear market. So what we would at least see is us try to reclaim this 50-day right here. All right. There's even the chance that we could wick above it. And we've talked about this, the potential of making this like weekly head and shoulders pattern, and then this thing rejects, start to come back down, and then, you know, we have the neckline, and then, you know, this is our head, and this is our shoulder. And if that's the case, then we would be expecting us to probably come back down to the next level, which to me, honestly, guys, would probably be somewhere right around the $75,000 region. Depending on where I wanted to land, I'd be drawing some levels. You know, this is the previous resistance zone from that when back in 2024 when we ranged. This would be an interesting level to find support on. This would wick right below these two. There's also this level right here, guys. You know, we found a lot of support at the $75,000 level. So there's also the chance that we come back down to 75,000, bounce, and then move up. Regardless, I still think it results in the same thing. Today's been interesting. I think everybody's on edge right now waiting for this Supreme Court decision, all right? We can even see it like on NASDAQ. You know, NASDAQ had a good day yesterday. You can even see it. Did the same thing last night. It started moving down about 4 o'clock in the morning, a little bit of de-risking. You can see really started about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night, started coming down. Kind of found a little bit of a local bottom, starting to try to move back up. Same thing with futures, doing the same thing. S&P 500 had a good day yesterday, guys. You can see it started to bounce. Actually, the day started off negative and then turned positive. So very interested to see how today goes. Today is Wednesday. Typically Wednesdays are the most bullish days of the week. I think if we can get past this Supreme Court decision and nothing really negative comes out from it, then I would expect a continuation and a push to the upside. If not, then we could see a quick reaction. And this could have been something the market makers did on purpose. They might know that this is going to come out negative. They go and sweep the shorts yesterday, get everybody to take in late longs, basically trick the market into going the opposite direction. They know the news is going to come out negative, and then boom, they get to come back down and sweep all that liquidity at the bottom before moving it back up. That could be a possibility too. Always remember, guys, when we talk about this all the time, 50% of every move will be retraced. All right, you can almost guarantee it. So if you say that the move started from like right here, and then this thing's gone up to, let's say, 7%, then you can almost guarantee 3.5% of this is going to be retraced. So if you come down to 3.5, this would be an interesting level to start looking for a reaction for it to come back down, to bounce, and then again, you know, this isn't a guarantee, but this is just usually how these markets work. Is 50% of these moves get retraced. So if you see, let's say this started from right here, going up to here, you got 8. Let's say we got to bring it down to 4%. Look where this lands you right at, the 50-day EMA. So just be expecting this type of stuff, guys. You know, this is the way that this market works. This is the way the market makers control liquidity. Again, market structure is created by liquidating shorts and liquidating longs. I did see an article yesterday that a lot of this was spot driven. So a lot of spot buying is a lot better. We don't want leveraged buying, because if people are taking leverage, guys, it's not real volume. It's basically whatever leverage that they put on there, and it's falsifying the volume. You know, if somebody's got $1 million and they're taking 100x long, they're going to count that as $100 million worth of volume, when in reality, it's only $1 million. That's what they do, guys. This is how this is kind of created. With that being said, guys, I'm very interested to see how today goes. Been waiting for it for a while. There's a couple things that I do like a lot. One is this. We did break back below the 50-day on USDT dominance. This looks really good. Now, one thing is this. It's been finding support. And actually, let me remove that. Let me show you guys. This region, it's been finding a lot of support. All right. You can kind of draw a box right there. You can see every time it's come in here, it's resulted in a bounce. So what we would like to see, because we know that we're probably going to get a little bit of relief when we are going to retrace some of this move, depending on how today goes, we would like to see this thing come back up into the 50, reject, and then move down. You see how it didn't quite reject off the 50, but kind of broke back up and wanted to retest this prior support level? We want it to now reject off this 50 and start actually making a move down. And I think we're going to get it, guys. I think we're starting to gear up for it. USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance. Look at this. This thing is doing a bearish retest on the 50. We said it, and it is rejecting off of it, guys. And this is exactly what we want to see. Also, look at this in the weekly. You can see it. We're well below it. Guys, I think this thing is finally going to really, after we get past this week, I think we're going to see some momentum. And I think we're going to see a lot of these things start to break out of the levels they've been kind of holding, and start to like USDT dominance breaking back below the level that it needs to. Bitcoin dominance starting to get back close to that 56, 55 range. Seeing Bitcoin try to reclaim the 97 and then try to reclaim the 100,000 next. We're going to start seeing these things happen, guys, over the next couple of weeks. We've basically been adjusting from a market with a lot of FUD, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of BS, into a market that is a lot more certain, understands what's going on, has a North Star. They understand, we got Jerome Powell being replaced. We're in quantitative easing. Trump's going to bring in his guy. They're going to lower rates. We have the $2,000 stimulus checks that are supposed to hit sometime this year. As long as the tariff, the Supreme Court doesn't rule against the tariffs. All of these things are going to be really good for the market, guys. And the market's going to be pricing these things in well in advance. All right? Always remember that. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So if we know we got all these bullish things and all these bullish catalysts coming up in the next few months, the market's going to start slowly pricing these events in prior. All right? And market makers and exchanges are going to use leverage and to sweep liquidity both directions and create market structure behind it. This is the reason why you buy massive fear, you utilize the Wyckoff, you understand market structure, and you're very patient, and you buy fear and you sell into that greed. You combine your macro, you understand the macro, you combine it with fundamentals to make sure that you're holding the right projects, because, guys, simply everything's not going to pump. You have to be very selective about what you're holding this cycle. This is not a 2017, 2021 cycle where everything's going to pump. The liquidity is going to be concentrated into specific narratives, into specific projects. And if you're not holding those, you're probably going to miss most of the bull run. All right. This is kind of your last chance. I've been telling a lot of guys, if you're holding things that have just shown complete weakness, and now you know what's showing the most strength, rotate out of those losers and go into strength, guys. Don't hold on to something because a year or a year and a half ago, in November of 24, at that time, the project was doing very, very good. And since then, it's pretty much died off. And there's no reaction or there's no momentum with it. Get out of those projects while you have the opportunity and rotate into things that are showing strength. All right? This is how you create opportunities. And I understand nobody wants to realize a loss, but I tell people, you're not realizing a loss, you're creating an opportunity by shifting into a losing position into something that's at least going to give you a fighting chance to try to earn that liquidity back. All right, guys? With that being said, I'm watching things very closely. I'm very interested to see how today goes. We've got about an hour before the Supreme Court decision comes out. Then we also have the U.S. market opening here in about 35 minutes or so. Once these things open and we get the decision, I'll be posting some updates inside of the community. And also, for anybody that's new to this channel, that maybe is new to my content, my name's Coach JM. I've been in crypto for the past 5 years. I'm an expert inside of Capital Club. I host the Crypto Talk workshops. I am also the founder of Alpha Syndicate, where I help guys like you really understand and learn these markets from both, from the macro, fundamentals, technical analysis, how to combine these together to give you an edge over this market. And if this is something you're interested in, along with, being able to network with entrepreneurs and other people, and just to be in a group of guys that are all working together to level up, click the link below, guys. We'll see you inside.